The BBC's Laura Kuenssberg has analysed the Prime Minister's questions (PMQs) battles between Boris Johnson and Sir Keir Starmer which have erupted in the past few weeks. The BBC's Laura Kuenssberg explained that Prime Minister Boris Johnson has come back fighting in PMQs despite appearing off his game in the first few weeks. The two political heavyweights have got under each other's skin, according to BBC's political editor. She noted that the political heat has been turned up on the Labour leader in the past couple of weeks. Speaking on BBC's 2 Politics Live, Ms. Kuenssberg said, "It's quite interesting, isn't it? In the last couple of weeks I think you've seen both the men facing each other across the dispatch box starting to be able to get under each other's skin. They're actually really starting to lock horns. In those early exchanges when Boris Johnson looked quite off his game as Keir Starmer pushed him on details and he was rather surprised by that. In the last couple of weeks, we've had Boris Johnson very much turning up the political heat on Keir Starmer by asking questions back to him and in turn, Keir looked quite surprised by that. Today it was like they both came with their ammo loaded, prepared to go at each other, prepared for the approach that the other was going to take. We saw Boris Johnson for jibing at Keir Starmer for acting like a lawyer. Then Keir Starmer punching back saying, 'I am a lawyer, I rest my case.' I think what is interesting and what Keir Starmer wants to push now is to say to the Prime Minister, this is meant to be about scrutiny, you're meant to put things forward, you can't complain about having to have your policies put under the microscope." During today's PMQs, Mr. Johnson insisted that test and trace systems were in place to respond to fresh coronavirus outbreaks as England prepares for the widest easing of lockdown measures yet. The Prime Minister insisted that a cluster-busting operation would quickly tackle localised outbreaks and defended the reach of the NHS test and trace system, even though the promised app now appears a distant prospect. Mr. Johnson's comments followed calls from health leaders for an urgent review to ensure Britain is properly prepared for the real risk of a second wave of coronavirus. The appeal is backed by the presidents of the Royal Colleges of Physicians, Surgeons, GPs and Nursing, as well as the chairman of the British Medical Association.